Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Somebody had asked me in the comment section to talk about this case of the rapper Coolio Fulio, who was a rapper from Jacksonville, Florida, whose given name was Charles Andrews II, and he was unalived in Tampa, Florida on June the 23rd, 2024. I just hate to talk about these young people doing things like this. So I finally found my voice to talk about it because we have to talk about these things in our community because they continue to happen. And we have to alarm them that the consequences of this, when you make a decision to do this to somebody else, you've also made a decision about your own life. And that needs to be the message. When you pick up a weapon and decide to unalive somebody else, you've also made a decision about your own life. So listen to this, young man, because this is a sobering take on what it is.
Hey, what's going on, people? Message to my YNs. Y'all see these four faces right here? These are the individuals, and if I'm not mistaken, it's others too. I think it's a female involved, but these four individuals are convicted for unaliving Julio Fulio, rapper from Jacksonville. And look at their faces, because all four of them, and I don't know if the other individuals, but I know these four, for sure, in particular, are facing the death penalty and or life with no parole, no possibility for parole. Look at their faces. Just, a message to my YNs. This is the end result. It's either this or somebody unalive you. And let's call it for what it is. This is a form of being unalived. And I'm saying that for a reason, TikTok purposes. Look at their faces. No smiles, no celebration. Because when you hear life without the possibility of parole, your life is over. Your life is over. And now they're debating in the court system, in the trial, they are debating whether they want to keep them on death row to face being unalived or put them in prison for the rest of their life. No possibility of parole, so that, as they said in the court, they can get sweat equity, work them to the bone until they pass. YNs, change. Because that life, it leads you to this or your mama playing in a service. Use your head, man.
So this is what it comes to. It comes to a community grieving for like 5 lives. For 5 lives. And the young woman that he was talking about, she hasn't been charged. The police has never charged her. Her name is on the internet, but the police has not named her, so I won't either. But she was not charged with this, even though she was a witness to it. But she was not charged. But let's just have the conversation. Now, these 4 men have been sentenced. They have been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, which means they will spend the rest of their lives in prison. No second chance, no parole, no opportunity to rebuild. Now, you have to think about that. That's Florida. This happened in Florida. Florida has some of the strictest sentencing laws in the country when it comes to violent crime. Once a jury convicts you of certain charges, the state requires life without parole. The government in Florida doesn't play around with cases like this. The system is designed to hand down the maximum penalties. 5 families are grieving in different ways. One family lost a son. Several families lost their sons to the prison system. Nobody wins. See, I don't know when these young people pick up a weapon and think they are going to go skipping around shooting folks. I don't even think they think about the outcome. I don't think they think about the outcome, but there is a consequence to you picking up a weapon and taking somebody's life. And it's not like it is on TV where it looks so cool and so is going to jail and they've got a hookup at the jail. It's not that cool. When I was teaching in elementary school, they used to bring, and this was a predominantly white school, they used to bring black guys to the school to talk to the children about the prison system. And it got to the point that the children were glorifying it. They were looking forward to these young black men who were in prison coming to the school with their prison guards to talk to these little white children about committing crimes and life in prison. Those little white children were treating those men like they were celebrities. So we, the black teachers, went to the principal and said, they need to stop bringing those people from the prison to talk to these children. They need to take the children to the prison and see how they are really living. Because when they're coming to the school, they're not in prison clothes. They're coming to school, they look good. They're young, black men, normal looking, handsome in some cases, but they're still in prison. Take the children to the prison and let the children see how they live in prison if they want to talk to them about joining gangs and crime and unaliving people and going to prison. It's not glamorous. It's not glamorous the way they live in prison. So I'm saying all of that to say we need to start taking these black children to the prison to let them see how they live in the prison. There is a consequence for you taking somebody's life. And they don't even plan it. I mean, they just go out and do it in broad daylight. You can't do that in this system and get away with it. You are going to go, black folk gonna get caught. The black folk gonna get caught. It's very seldom that a black person will commit a crime and just get away with it because you don't even have money to skip town. You are in your grandmama, you are in your grandmama's back room or somewhere hiding in the house, in somebody's house. And the police saw you. I mean, it's 15 people saw you do it, and they're going to be at your trial testifying. So you're going to jail. You're going to prison. This is just another reminder that one moment, one decision can change the entire direction of your life. Violence doesn't create winners, it creates more loss. I hope younger people watching understand the streets don't love you back, and the consequences are real and permanent. I'm old enough to remember when rap was fun, when it was about dancing and storytelling and talking about what was really happening in our communities. It had messages, it had joy, and it had creativity, which is what music is about. But somewhere along the way, the music turned darker. The energy shifted. It became more about beef, violence, and proving something instead of expressing something. And to a lot of us, especially us older folks who grew up with this culture, we're tired of it. That's why I'm happy to see women doing so well in rap right now. They have brought back some of the fun of it, although some of their stuff is a little bit too raunchy for me too. But people are choosing joy again. The kids are doing little dances and they are doing trail rides. They want to get away from this foolishness that has become so embedded now in our culture and in our communities. And to be honest, I think the culture is ready for a reset. I don't think it's just the older people like me. I think it's the young people too. We're ready for music that lifts us up instead of dragging us down and having to make so many trips to the cemetery because somebody had a beef with somebody else that didn't make any sense to anybody but them. So anyway, y'all, I've done this video and I hope the person who requested it sees it. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening and have a good day.